Grand Theft Auto Trilogy, the Definitive Edition, has to be one of the weirdest situations that I've honestly ever seen. You've seen a lot of games come and go, games that were hyped up to be big projects, games like Cyberpunk 2077 released in a state that was extremely glitchy and extremely problematic, so much in fact that it was removed from certain stores. But a compilation of PlayStation 2 games with new graphical assets and a refined control scheme for the modern era doesn't seem like something that we would be talking about all that often besides the initial impressions of the game. Now, of course, I played the game over on the Nintendo Switch version of the game, and yes, it did have its problems like I mentioned, but it was still a fun game. It was just like, how did they miss these things? What sort of situation led to them missing all of these things? Well, now things have gotten even more bizarre. The past couple of days have just been an up and down roller coaster. We're now at the point where Rockstar is essentially getting caught lying about Grand Theft Auto Trilogy updates. So what's going on with this situation? That's what we're going to talk about. Hey y'all, RGT here. If this is your first time on the channel, be sure to hit that subscribe button, like and share the video. Without any further ado, let's jump into the madness known as Grand Theft Auto Trilogy, the Definitive Edition. So the main things going on as of late that I haven't mentioned before on the channel are as follows. Last time we talked about this situation, Grand Theft Auto Trilogy, the Definitive Edition, had actually been removed off of Rockstar's launcher. They also removed the ability to play the original versions of these games off of PC so that you couldn't have access to them whatsoever. So there was a point where you couldn't play any of the Grand Theft Auto games on the Rockstar launcher. Now since then, they've actually put back the original versions of the game, and there's a limited time where you could download these versions of the game free of cost while they fix the Definitive Edition of the game. Now the Definitive Edition of the game, like I said, was already pulled off of Rockstar's launcher, so obviously they knew that there were issues with it. We of course had the whole situation with the hot coffee mod being found within the source code of it, which just made this situation even worse, because how the hell do you put in a thing that cost your company literally millions and millions of dollars via litigation, and you leave it in there in this version of the game? And people in the comments are going to say, well, Grove Street is the one who made these games. Look, when you're the publisher of the game, and when they're your original games, and when you're handling all the PR for these games like Rockstar is doing, notice Grove Street isn't the one sending out these PR releases, I tend to believe that Rockstar had a little bit more input in this game than a lot of people would like to believe. So that's why I put the onus on Rockstar, because it's their games. At the end of the day, it is their game. So besides all of that, Rockstar actually put out an apology on the 19th, saying that they're going to improve upon things, basically saying that we want to sincerely apologize to everyone who has encountered issues playing these games. The Grand Theft Auto series and the games that make up this iconic trilogy are as special to us as we know they are to the fans around the world. The updated versions of these classic games did not launch in a state that meets our own standards of quality or the standards our fans have come to expect. Apologies in video games always baffle me, because you're basically saying this, well, we're sorry that this game didn't launch in a state that we were proud of, but you're the ones who launched the game. Do you not remember this? You're the ones who said, hey, we're doing the GTA Trilogy, the Definitive Edition, we're improving the controls, we're improving the graphics of the game, at least changing the graphics of the game, improving is left up to interpretation, and then you were the ones who gave this a release date. You were the ones who said when this physical version was going to come out. You were the ones who said it was going to come out this year. I didn't say that. I didn't make up this release date. None of my viewers made up this release date. Nobody in the entire world gave this game a release date and said to launch on this day and time besides you. So what are you apologizing for exactly? You knew that it was in a shitty state when you played you could boot up the game, any of the games, and see, yes, there are frame rate issues across every version of this game on every platform when it comes to the driving sections of the game. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. There's no sort of, oh, it's only on this version of the game. Oh, we missed this little bug and things like that. No. It's right there in your face in every version of this game. So to apologize for this is ridiculous, because you're the ones who put it out like this, not us. We don't need to hear your apologies. We need to see actions. Now, further on in this email, they went along to say, hey, you know what, we're going to update all the versions of the game. It's coming very soon, blah, blah, blah. So good on you. Obviously, this is something that enough people spoke up about, because I really feel like that Rockstar was just going to let this go. You know, if there wasn't a lot of people saying how broken the game was or how many issues they had with the game, I really feel like they would have just let this go on. It would have just been a mediocre release, and hey, look forward to GTA 5 coming to the next gen consoles next year, which are really the current gen consoles, but the PlayStation 5 and the Xbox Series X versions of these games. We all know that these games were rushed. I just don't think we expected them to be this rushed, because really, you already have the games done. Just make them HD textures on the versions that you already had done, improve the controls, and then release them out into the wild. It would have been a lot easier than trying to make a whole new graphical style that you did in this game, which obviously made a lot of bugs pop up, because when you take a source code for an open world sandbox game and tinker with any little thing, there's going to be a cause and reaction. But okay, you're working on patches. Good for you. Maybe this game will actually improve, and maybe you'll do better. Well, this patch actually already came out. People quickly realized that the patch was available and started downloading the patch. And you know what? They lied. They lied about the patch, because there are things that are clearly stated in this patch update that are not improved upon. So today is the 20th at night when I'm filming this video, and you can clearly see that this was updated on November 20th. So on Saturday, we learned that a new patch was available for the Definitive Edition on the PlayStation 5, PlayStation 4, Xbox Series X, S, and Xbox One. So I guess screw the Nintendo Switch owners, who are probably the ones buying this game. Nintendo is actually publishing the physical version of this game, but screw them. We have to cater to these other audiences first, besides getting to the Nintendo Switch audience. But basically they said they fixed localization issues, collision issues, holes in the map, incorrect or misplaced textures, like basic stuff that shouldn't have been a problem, basic stuff that should have been noticed, they included in this fix. They fixed an issue where pay and spray doors were closed, which is evidently like in every version of the game. You know, pay and spray, that's not really the biggest deal in the world. Oh wait, it is, because it's how you avoid the cops in the game when you get anything above like a 3-star rating, a basic function not working. Most of the things you'll see are basically issues on different types of missions where things would not function properly. I've actually encountered a few things in Vice City where missions just seem to not go, like you go in the little red area to get it started and it is indeed not happening. They fixed an issue with the rain visual effects, because I guess they didn't notice that. Basically a text for when you're swimming and, you know, different things of that nature. But you come down here and you notice something that I find to be very interesting. Fixed an issue where a bridge in Flint County is invisible. Now that's something very specific for San Andreas. You know, Flint County, of course, is only in San Andreas, so this is something that was just applicable to that version of the game. But they fixed the invisible bridge in this game. I haven't gotten that far in San Andreas to experience that yet, as I've been playing Vice City mostly, but hey, at least they fixed the bridge, right? Or did they fix the bridge? Because here you can see my good buddy Rerez. Shout outs to Rerez. Make sure you guys check out his channel. Excellent, excellent work. Much better than the piddly nonsense I put out on this channel. But he basically downloaded the patches on his Xbox Series X, and, well, let's just let the video talk for itself. I'm walking on sunshine, whoa, I'm walking on sunshine, whoa, and don't it feel good because there's an invisible bridge? So they lied. They clearly lied, and this is clear, definitive proof of this lie, that the invisible bridge is still invisible. Even like further on down the thread, you see people saying, well, the rain looks exactly the same. You know, it was supposed to be improved upon. There's all sorts of weird stuff going on here. Of course, the Switch version didn't even get a patch, which we already talked about. Lots of the stuff can be found in this, lots of other graphical glitches. And yes, it was an actual glitch in the first version of the game, which a lot of people are probably saying in the comments section, but I understand that. All because a glitch is involved in the original version of the game doesn't mean that it should be involved in the final version of the game. That's the Definitive Edition. So can you really take anything Rockstar said at face value when it comes to GTA Trilogy, the Definitive Edition, as far as these fixes are concerned? Like, I'm sure they fixed some things with this game, and maybe some of the things that they talked about will be included in future updates, but this update is obviously a lie. If the bridge is not fixed, and they specifically said that the bridge was fixed, it's a lie. It's as simple as that. You are the ones who said you fixed the bridge, and we have definitive proof that you indeed did not fix the bridge. So why should I believe you on really anything else you're saying about this version of the game? There's so many just weird things going on with this game, and it's clear This was a rush job for the holiday season. I've said it time and time again. They thought Grand Theft Auto 5 for the PS5 and Series X was going to be available at the end of this year. That was going to be their revenue cash cow. But when that ended up getting delayed, they had to push out something out the door by outsourcing this game, which, I mean, it's called Grove Street. Do we really think that they're not a part of Rockstar, considering, well, you know, Grove Street is where CJ lives and San Andreas? This is obviously a company that works directly, maybe even a subsidiary company of Rockstar. So they just made this to make it so that all the blame could go on this other company, until they realized quickly that no, it's their version of the game. It's still a Rockstar game at the end of the day, and they are the ones ultimately responsible for this. And I just find it bizarre that the Nintendo Switch version is just like forgotten about, I guess. Are you doing patches on the Switch version of the game? Will you be improving anything? Because if I'm Nintendo, I'm looking at Rockstar and I'm like, the hell did you do to me here? You left me out to dry. You massacred me in front of everyone. Now I am publishing your physical version of this game, which I imagine is selling very well on the Nintendo Switch, as this is the first time these 3 games have been available on the platform, and it's just an absolute mess. It's an absolute mess of a situation, and I feel like as time goes on, we're going to discover more and more issues with this game as far as what went into it, what sort of development crunch there was with it, and I feel like we haven't even learned the whole story of this game. But as it stands now, Rockstar, you got caught with your hand in the cookie jar. You got caught with your pants down around your ankles, and that's not your wife in front of you. Like, you got caught. You got caught. And just to lie about this patch and lie about things within the patch is absolutely ridiculous. You are the one who made this game. You are the one who released this game into the public. You don't need to apologize to me. You need to make things right. And by lying about what's in this patch, you're not making things right. You're making things worse. Worse! Alrighty, so those are my thoughts on Grand Theft Auto Trilogy, the Definitive Edition, and the latest and greatest of what's going on with that. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to let me know in the comments section down below. I might continue to follow this story, especially if more interesting things happen. I know some channels are talking about like every little thing, and like that's cool, but I don't know. I like to just have more, you know, conglomerate-based stuff where there's a bunch of information to discuss and go over with you guys, because I find it to be a little more interesting in the terms of storytelling. But give me all your feedback in the comments section down below. Thank you for checking out this video. If you are new to the channel, hit that subscribe button, like and share the video. Let me know in the comments if you're watching towards the end of this video. I assume you're a diehard RGT fan. I'm thinking of buying the SNK MVSX thing, which was like the tabletop arcade counter, but you could buy it for a stand with it as well. Comes with 50 SNK games. It's like $550, which, I mean, after spending $700 on X-Men, I feel like I need to sort of cleanse my palate a little bit. But is that a good machine? Do you have it? Let me know in the comments down below. And as always, I'll catch you guys on the next one. Later.